Hola a todos and welcome to the final diary post for my 30-day Spanish challenge for week 4. So I'm really excited to share this with you this time. It's the end of this 30-day challenge, which has been really intense. It's the first time I've done this kind of thing and I've really enjoyed it, and there's a lot that I've learned from it. So I hope you enjoy watching all the clips of my thoughts during the process, clips from the lesson so you can see me actually speaking and seeing, what my kind of Spanish level is like. And keep your eyes peeled in the future because I'm going to be recording a progress update at the end of this challenge so you can see exactly what my Spanish is like, completely unedited, unfiltered, everything video, so you can see exactly what my level's like and what I can do now with Spanish after 30 days. So yeah, enjoy seeing what I've done this week. First day of the 4th week now, so I've got my first 2-hour lesson with one of my teachers, one of the ones that I'm really enjoying working with at the moment, which is going to be really fun. Not sure how I'm going to handle 2 hours with no break. I guess I can take one, but yeah, so he said in the lesson yesterday that we were going to be working on a plan for our lessons because I booked quite a few of him this week already. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the plan is and working on some more exercises and doing stuff like that. So start of the week and we'll see how we go. So I just finished the 2-hour lesson, which was quite long but really productive. We did loads of stuff during the lesson. We talked about a load of different things and we had a bit of a conversation and we made a plan as well. So basically we kind of had a look at the curriculum from Baselang together, and he highlighted some things that he's noticed that I think we need to practice, some subjects that I wanted to look at and stuff like that. So we were talking and there was a new tense I hadn't seen. I understood it, but then I just asked him to give me a quick summary of the conjugation so I could kind of start understanding it, not using it really. And then right at the end we started working on basically creating a story to practice all the different grammar and tenses and all that kind of stuff that I've been working on, which I think is a really fun way, especially when I've got kind of an idea in my mind of things I need to focus on. So in the story I'm trying to use past simple and using like pronouns, like object pronouns, which I've been working on as well. So I thought that was really good, and it's really nice to have a teacher like that who is really sort of identifying things I want to work on and also working in the style I like, and then also giving me some chances to actually work on new things and to reinforce them as well, and not just only doing exercises, because I think there's a limit to those kind of exercises. So really productive, and I've got another 2 hours with him tomorrow. So I think basically for this week I'm hoping that it's going to be mostly lessons with him, because I think we'll get loads done and I'll really be able to sort of reinforce everything I've learned so far, because I'm about halfway through the curriculum and I think it's now really time to sort of reinforce that and start just working on sort of getting a little more accurate, improving my vocabulary, and just sort of using what I know, because I think at the moment I probably have enough of the basic tenses to kind of get on with for now. And then as we're going, I can kind of look at the materials as we're going and go, okay, I want to try and use this. Let's have a quick look at the conjugation and go from there, because I think I don't need to do too much of that. So yeah, super productive. And now I'm about to go and do some DIY stuff, and then hopefully later I will get some more Spanish in, which is probably going to be Civilization because I've been playing it loads, and that's about it.
Cuando, cuando se tiene este tipo de plato, normalmente es un pollo o un tipo de carne y algunos platos pequeños, puedo decir en cerca. Una vez más, por favor. Alrededor.
Well then, that was a little bit strange. I thought I'd book 2 hours today because on Sunday I normally have a little bit of extra time, but actually I didn't. So I'm only going to actually have one lesson today because I decided that it's probably better actually to just have one lesson with the teacher I'm really enjoying the lessons with and I feel like I'm really working hard with, rather than just adding another hour in with a random teacher that I'm just going to be talking about the same stuff again. Because I've just noticed, yeah, I can go through some of the exercises and stuff, but at the moment, because I'm getting to the end of the challenge now, I think actually just spending loads of time going through other chapters of random grammar stuff isn't going to help me as much as just sort of talking and learning new vocabulary and trying to find things when I'm going. So we were talking about Christmas, so I had to learn loads of stuff about how to describe members of my family and all that kind of stuff, so, and like food and things like that. So I think that's going to be a really good way of enriching my vocabulary and focusing on that. So I think we've got a lesson tomorrow, and then actually next week is going to probably be quite a quiet week because I've got a couple of really busy days. So I'm actually, one day particularly, I'm not going to actually fit any lessons in. So I'm just going to try and fit as much as I can of like passive stuff and just see what happens. But it'll be interesting to see how that works of maybe actually doing less hours, but focusing on making sure the quality of all of those hours is really good. So I'm just about to go and finish off some work, and then later on I'm going to end up playing Civilization because that's what I've been doing every day and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'll see you later. Well, back again. I was literally just getting some work done and listening to some music and just thinking about how much I've been playing Civilization 6 recently, and I just thought it was a really interesting thing to talk about, so I just decided to record a little video again. But basically I've been kind of, the last couple of days, or at least the last week, I've been really obsessed with playing it because I've been so busy with work and stuff. I really enjoy it, you know, it's really relaxing, and it's really interesting that sometimes I feel like I should be doing something else, even though I'm doing it in Spanish. If I was watching a series or something like that, maybe the content that I'm learning would be better. But I guess I was just thinking actually that how beneficial it is actually to just follow that kind of obsession or maybe desire to do something. So, you know, I really want to play it, so why fight that and do something else that I think potentially is going to be better, because I'm probably going to get bored with it and then not want to do it or anything like that. So it's one of those things, when I'm really obsessed with watching a TV series, I feel like at the moment at least, my feeling is that I should really just focus on that. And then when that sort of real obsession kind of subsides, then I can focus on doing other things. And it's the same when I was doing Japanese. My wife bought me a bilingual book, which is somewhere over there. And I was really obsessed with it and I was working on it every day. And although, yeah, maybe doing some of the grammar exercises and writing notes in my book probably would have been more beneficial in terms of like my understanding and stuff like that, it's something I really enjoyed, and so I was reading it every day and really breaking it down and understanding it and stuff like that. So sometimes I think following that and just sort of doing the things that you just really feel like doing at the time is going to be better because you enjoy it more. So like last night I played literally like 4 hours of Civilization in Spanish, and I already know that I learned some new phrases and some new ideas which I've been trying to test out in my lessons, like using the different words for start that I've seen in the game. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that. And so yeah, just a little idea I thought about, you know, when I'm really feeling like I want to be doing a certain activity, even if it's not the most beneficial, then it's probably going to be more fun, and for me that's kind of why I do it. So I just thought I need to remind myself, and so I just thought I'd share that with you as well. So yeah, anyway, back to work.
Incluso si es un dodido, no es necesario específicamente usar cual en vez de que. Es posible usar la que, la cual parece muy formal. O quienes, sí. Porque es en formalidad es las que, las cuales, quienes. O, ¿cómo esto?
So, just finished another lesson. Only an hour today because I had an appointment this morning, and so I've got work this afternoon, so I only could fit in an hour. But was really good. And again, we sort of were just generally talking, and I made a mistake when I was making a specific type of phrase, like relative clauses. And so then we started looking at the explanations, and then we just started working on that. So I really like how we're kind of just talking and then finding something that I don't understand and then moving through and sort of working on those things as we find them, which is a really nice way of sort of discovering the things that I need rather than just going through a sort of standard list. And also, it's something that I say recently, it's one of the more recent things that I studied in Italian, and it's very, very similar. And actually, it's really helped me understand that because I've been teaching it a lot in English and I was studying it in Italian, and actually now studying it in Spanish has kind of almost clarified some things, especially for Italian, that I maybe didn't understand as well as maybe I would like, because it's quite a difficult construction compared to how we use it in English. Hey there! So I've just been editing some of my lesson clips just so I can see, I can put them in the diary post, and also just sort of have a look about how my speaking was and sort of looking at maybe what I've improved over the last week. And it's really nice actually noticing a lot of mistakes that I've been making, because sort of there's things that I was doing last week that I now know maybe is wrong, or I've got better ways of saying things. So it's a really nice way of seeing my progress. So I've really been enjoying that. So I'm going to carry on editing those and getting some little clips together so you can see what I've been working on. And then I have one lesson later this afternoon with the teacher that I'm going to be working with basically every day this week. And after having no lessons yesterday because I was just so busy, I think it's going to be nice to get back into things and be working on it again for another hour before I spend probably all evening just playing games and chilling. So yeah, I'm back off to edit some videos, and I'll see you a bit later.
Sí, sí, entonces en el video tengo tres partes y uno, dos, tres, pero cuando estaba editando 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, entonces debo continuamente poner toda la parte en el lugar o el orden correcto, sí. Es muy complejo y no me gusta hacer todo en computador porque necesita muy tiempo, pero mucho tiempo, sí, sí, sí. Y en este caso, en mi teléfono, porque es muy pequeño, debo ser, ¿cómo se dice? Cuidado. Sí, sí, sí. Entonces, sí, debo o tengo que tener cuidado porque un pequeño toco y todo el vídeo es, sí, clic, es roto en realidad. Sí, pero por ejemplo, en Sud Italia, cada ciudad es italiano standard, no lo sé en español. Estándar, ok, perfecto. Y un idioma específico del país, en que un ciudad eres una ciudad 40 ok 20 50 ok 50 kilómetros de una ciudad tiene un idioma completamente diferente en que no es posible entender por nada.
Well then, life strikes again. Not exactly what I was hoping for today. I did have 2 hours of lessons booked this morning as a real boost for the final sort of week and the end of this kind of challenge. But because this week actually has been really quiet, so there was actually the first day was a couple of days ago where I didn't actually have any lessons because I just didn't have time around work, and then I've only been able to fit in sort of one a day. And so today and at the weekend I was really hoping to just give that a final boost, but I've woke up this morning with a terrible migraine, and I
am not feeling up to it. So it's kind of the realities of language learning, I guess. Normally I would push through if I'd have booked like an individual lesson with a normal teacher, not with this kind of program. I normally would just push through because I've already paid for it and I only have one lesson a week probably. So actually to lose that 1 hour is sort of a massive loss. Whereas actually I've still got 2 hours booked tomorrow and 2 hours booked on Sunday. So I'm hoping that it clears up by then and I should be fine. And then also I have the possibility of, if I'm feeling better later, to book some extra time. So I think, you know, in this case, it's that thing. I feel a bit guilty for booking it because obviously I'm trying to do this challenge and trying to do something every day. But I just think I've got to really sort of understand that if I'm going to be sitting there counting the minutes and not really enjoying the exercises or whatever we're doing, and my brain isn't really functioning, I'm not going to be getting the value from it anyway. Although normally I would say if I have a headache or I'm tired, that doing that is a good way of pushing through, because if you're speaking the language every day, or you have it for work or something, you don't have the choice. If you have a headache that day and you've got to use it for a meeting or a presentation, then you've got to use it. But in this case, I sort of decided that I'm past that level where it's going to just be a little bit difficult and it's just going to be a real drain. And I've got loads of stuff I need to sort out later. But the lessons that I had yesterday were really, really fun. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that because we have been kind of slowly working through making this story together. And it's quite fun. It's like a really stupid story, and I'm using a lot of vocabulary that I've picked up from the video games, actually, stuff about dragons and magic and all that kind of stuff. But what's really interesting is we're only actually making tiny little sections of the story, and it's taking a really long time, but it's actually really helpful because it's kind of, I try to write a phrase, or I say it and he types it, so I don't even have to worry about writing, which is perfect. And then we look at it and I read the sentence back to him, and then he tells me if there's any phrases that we can maybe make it sound more natural, or if there's any sort of tenses that I need to change. So there's one that we're using, the preterito imperfecto. That's the one. And so apparently that's the one you use in stories. It sounds a bit, I'm not sure exactly what it translates as, but I know in this case it's more like continuous actions in a story in the past, and I haven't studied that yet, and it's really far forward in the Baselang curriculum. So I get the impression that the teachers don't want to study individual lessons from like a really advanced level, even if I need to use it in that context. So he's given me a brief summary, and because of that I'm able now to sort of do this, and we sort of and if I don't know what it is, I'll use simple past, and then we'll sort of talk about it and we'll say, okay, this one actually needs to be the other tense, and we kind of change it. So that's really fun, actually, having that sort of flexibility, and we're kind of working through it that way. And also just sort of picking up new verbs and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to sort of add some variety and stuff like that. So I was talking about how we want to call some villagers, and then actually he was saying, well, there's a verb to call someone, and then there's a verb when you call someone, like shouting for their attention. And it's very similar, but those sort of things are the only things you learn through doing this kind of exercise. So it's something really, really fun. And I think it's something I'd like to continue with. It's not the same as developing my conversational fluency, but it's a nice way of sort of thinking outside the box and maybe trying to create different phrases I wouldn't normally do when I'm talking about everyday life and stuff like that. So a really enjoyable activity, and combined with the conversation and the other exercises and stuff we've been working on, I think it's a nice little addition to my language studies with this teacher. And yeah, so I'm going to literally get my head down now. Hopefully I feel better, and then I might be able to book in a lesson later. But if I don't, I'm not going to worry about it. This is life, so you know, that's what happens. Well then, here we are. I made it. Day 30. So wasn't sure I was going to get this far. But yeah, so today is going to be the sort of final official day of the challenge, and I'm just about to have 2 hours. But I completely forgot to record a video talking about my lesson yesterday, and there was a couple of really interesting points I wanted to share, so I thought I'd do it now before I get started. So yeah, yesterday I'd spent the whole day sort of tiling and doing loads of work in the house. I was really tired, so I just decided to have the lesson in a different place, not in my office where I normally do it, because I normally like to be sort of concentrated and in kind of like work mode when I'm studying. So I just kind of did it a bit more relaxed, and I sort of sat on my bed and did that, which was good, because otherwise I don't think I could have got through the 2 hours. But we were looking at the subjunctive, which is something I really wanted to look at before I finished this challenge, because it's something that I
find really difficult in Italian, and I know in Spanish it's very similar, and so I wanted to sort of really have a look at that before I got finished with the challenge this month. And one really interesting thing that I sort of noticed that I was doing quite a lot, which is something I think is really good learning generally, is that when I was talking about something or there was a new rule, I am constantly trying to sort of explain the idea to the teacher, or to see whether I'm able to explain the idea in my own words, because I think it's really important to be able to do that, not just for flexibility in the idea that it's, if I don't know exactly how to express something, I can try and explain it in a different way, or I'm always trying to paraphrase it, so even if there's a written description, I try and say it in a different way or give an example, and it also helps reinforce all of the vocabulary and the grammar and stuff like that. So I found that really helpful, and it's something that I've noticed that I've been doing more and more. And I think it's something that I really need to make sure that I'm doing, because it gives me the opportunity to speak, and also to double check that I'm understanding things correctly, and also maybe to try and use examples of the grammar that I am learning. So we were learning subjunctive, and then I was trying to give examples, and to give the example I had to use the subjunctive, and it was really kind of interesting with that kind of back and forth there. And actually normally we had 2 hours, and normally after an hour the teachers normally have a little break, but actually we didn't. I think we were just so into it, we did it all the way through. So I literally did sort of 2 hours with no break, completely solid, just detailed grammar study and discussion about it and stuff like that, which was really intense but really, really good. So I'm not sure how today's going to go. Yeah, I was up quite early this morning, so I'm feeling a little bit tired, but as I mentioned before, I think it's really important when you're feeling tired to kind of push through and to do it as much as you can, because like you say, in real life, if you're tired or it's early or something like that, you're not going to have the choice of whether you can speak or not, if you need to use it for work, or if you're in the country or something like that. So it's always something I like to do. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do today, so I'm about to go and have a look at the curriculum and maybe decide on a few bits to do, because I've got 2 new teachers. And so, if the conversation's great, I might just go with that. But if it isn't, or, I feel like doing some grammar, then I have an idea, because I like to prepare that so that when they say, what do you want to do today? I don't just say, I don't know. And then we kind of all just sit there awkwardly. So
soy un profesor de inglés, pero mi hobby es estudiar los idiomas. Entonces, italiano era el primero. Pero después he estudiado francés, alemán, islandés, sí, y ahora español, italiano, japonés. Sí, en este momento no puedo hablar en cada idioma, pero en español creo que sí, puedo hacerlo en manera simple. Pero italiano es en nivel avanzado, entonces italiano sí, español sí, y japonés tiene un nivel principiante, entonces puedo hablar simplemente, pero no puedo hacer mucho. Pero es muy diferente de inglés, entonces necesita mucho más tiempo.
the final 2 lessons of this 30-day challenge then. So yeah, but a bit strange. It was kind of fun because I think today was probably the most sort of fluent and natural that I felt speaking, and I feel like I spoke really, really well. But actually, I probably enjoyed the lessons least. I don't know whether it's just because I'm tired and I've had a couple of hours sleep or something like that, but I didn't enjoy them, so we ended up doing quite a lot of grammar, because I just decided that if I was feeling lazy, doing a bit of grammar is a bit easier than sort of just having to keep a conversation moving. But yeah, when I was chatting, I felt really sort of fluid and natural. Although I didn't know all of the words, I felt like I was able to actually just have a conversation without worrying too much. Maybe it's just I'm in one of those moods. But it's interesting that just because I wasn't really enjoying the content of the lessons, maybe just reading conjugations and stuff, when we were talking, it felt really smooth. So a bit strange. But anyway, I decided because of that, I was just going to book another set of lessons for tomorrow. So I'm actually going to be doing a little bit extra. But I thought, why not when I can? And also because the teacher that I like is available, so I thought it'd be really nice to have those to kind of finish things off and to finish off doing the subjunctive stuff we were doing yesterday. So an interesting combination, but sort of giving it, sort of practicing that. I've learned another tense, which is really useful, and I'm looking forward to sort of carrying on being able to sort of use this Spanish now to do all the stuff that I enjoy and not worrying so much about lessons and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's an interesting point, and I think I need to kind of take it all in and then sort of really analyse how the challenge has gone. But I think overall it's pretty good, and I think I can, speak in Spanish now, which is pretty great. There we have it then. The challenge is over. It's the end of week 4, or week 4 plus, with a couple of extra days just to take it over to the full 30. And like I said, I've really enjoyed myself. I've had a great fun doing this challenge, and I've been amazed how much I've learned. So to hear all of my final thoughts of exactly what I've thought of the challenge and how everything's gone, you'll want to check out my analysis video, which is going to be coming out very, very shortly, which will go into all the fine detail of the end of the challenge and my thoughts of the challenge as a whole and my progress and all of that good stuff. That fine detail and the behind the scenes to show you how I got to where you've just seen in the diary post. So I hope you've enjoyed this challenge, and if you have any other ideas for other languages you want me to study or any other challenges you want me to take on, then stick a comment in the video below and consider giving it a like, and I look forward to seeing you next time for some more language learning fun. So, hasta luego!